Can the Renegades rebel against the Schroet Commandos? We will only find out in due time, but that is our next two maps, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us here at the Intel Esports Arena for ESL Pro League. My name is Stunna here on the Xfinity Analyst Desk, and I'm joined by DeBears and James IRL. But with that being said, guys, we've got two Titans. Okay, that might be a little bit exaggeration.
No, it's not.
We've got two great teams here ready to square off in Renegades and SK. They'll be battling it out on Mirage and Kabul. I believe we're going to take a look at the the Renegades lineup first here as we throw that up in front of you. Azure, JKS, you still owe Nifty Naf. And in the pre-show, we talked about what Nifty brings to the table. But overall, what else do we see from these guys?
I think you mispronounced Azar. It's Azza.
It is.
You said Azure. It's Azza. Anyway, so what do they bring to the table? JKS brings the insane aim. Ustilo brings the 180 flicks. Nifty brings the op flicks and the IGLing, right? So he took over IGLing after Nexa left. Naf brings the carry performances. And who did I miss there? Anybody? Oh, I missed AZR. So he brings
Azure.
like basically the aggression on maps like Kabul. So he goes drop and he just basically owns it.
Well, owning it, these next guys, they're used to owning it. That's SK Gaming. Let's take a look at their lineup within Fallen, Coldzera, Taco, Fur, Phelps. And the talking point in the pre-show was Phelps. But do we think that could potentially be a problem today?
Well, it's been a consistent factor throughout the whole season and the last couple months. So, as James said, maybe it's a mental thing that he's not trying as hard as he should have been, because you see a lot of just weird mistakes, as you see right here in the Phelps kind of video, where, you know, they're making noise in the middle, pretty much doing a default, and then he just peaks
What is that?
randomly in the middle against a very common off angle. And so, like, a lot of these little decisions make SK have to work just a little bit harder in these rounds, and just like he has to eliminate a lot of these bad spots. Like right here in this 2-on-3 situation. Okay, he's in a very weird spot. Like I would never play in the spot in a 2-on-3 because it's just, as you see, he was pretty exposed.
His buddy had market control too, so he could have hidden behind like the bench van pillar, right? So he had the ability to move back there. So I agree with you. It seems like there's a lapse of concentration on Phelps's behalf on some of these non-super high-level match. Right? It's not like a major final. When we do see him in a major final, his focus is noticeably different. So I think it's interesting. What I'm really excited though for this matchup is the maps they're playing. So Mirage and Kabul are both super strong maps for both teams. So there's going to be a lot to talk about today.
Well, talking a little bit, I guess less, so to say. Let's get into some predictions here real quick. What are we thinking the scoreline's going to be here, at least on Mirage?
Well, I mean, I think Mirage is going to be favored for Renegades a little bit. I think that's probably more their map choice over Kabul. Even though you said they're both their maps, I think SK is way stronger in Kabul compared to Mirage, you know, a little bit, just a little bit. I think Renegades, if they were to win a map, I think it'd be Mirage.
Interesting.
No.
I respect your opinion, and I do, but I think it's the chance they have is on Kabul.
Oh.
It's all going to come down to whether or not Renegades can get more than 5 or more rounds on their CT half, because Renegades also have a very good T half.
Well, we're going to take a look at the Betway odds and see what those numbers projected themselves to be from you, the viewer at home. That's right, and actually, it looks like everyone's favoring SK, regardless of whatever, I guess, turbulence they've hit today among their Counter-Strike matches across the internet and other places. But, I mean, what do we think about these Betway odds?
I mean, I know SK is the favorite team, and I mean, they are top 3 in the world. Even
how can you bet against them?
Yeah, how can you bet
any
against
team, you could put them up there, and it could be favored for SK, so this is fun.
Cool. Well, I wonder if our commentators feel the same way. Let's go ahead and loop in Blue and Launders right now, who will be bringing you the action. Guys, are you feeling the same thing?
Do you guys feel it all?
Do you guys have feels?
We're emotionless.
No, yeah, I think that on Kabul, if we see SK versus Cloud9, we saw two teams that were extremely good at Kabul and SK completely outclassing the other one, at least on their T side. So I'm really scared of their T side personally on Kabul, and I think that's going to be a hard map to beat them on. Mirage, maybe they're a little weaker. I don't know.
Well, let's find out if it happens on Mirage. You guys can take it from here.
All right, thank you very much, Stunna. And it is indeed going to be Renegades trying to beat out SK here. Obviously, they just had their recent loss against Ghost. They did trade it back 1-1 in a much better form in the second map there, however, so at least had that going for them. And now they're going to be jumping on to this first map here. A map which Renegades, despite, you know, if you just look at like just pure stats, it looks great for them. But the problem is they haven't really beat any like well-known teams with it. It's been a bunch of like very low-level NA teams for the most part. In online matches, I think the biggest win they had was back in Atlanta when they beat HR. So considering that, they really actually don't have a lot of prowess to prove themselves in this map just yet against teams like SK, Cloud9, Liquid, you know, these other like big guys in NA. They haven't been able to take a win against one of those guys yet.
In terms of maps, it definitely seems like SK should be favored on both, not just because they're SK, but because of the maps and how good they are. And I think the one thing is that we've been talking about Phelps a lot, and I have like a kind of like a team criticism for them, and it's just that I made this video about SK and how they adapted with bringing on Phelps to the team, and how they reinvented their Mirage T side. And since that video, I made that video maybe like 8 months ago, they still continue to play T side the exact same way, like relatively similarly, Taco Whip and Palace, which is, you know, is a default, but their mid control and how they get aggressive, where they take the most risks, they do the exact same things. So they just boost, they get fur underpass, they boost Phelps window, and they try to attack A and mid through the exact same routes. And that's kind of worrying, and I think, you know, Phelps is going to die a lot doing that. I think that's more of a team issue than it is a Phelps issue, but I'm not sure why that is.
Well, we are going live now, folks. Fun fact, by the way, SK have played this map every single Pro League day so far this week.
Can we get more facts?
Every single
once
match.
a half?
Yeah, let's see. I'll get one ready. We'll keep it spread out a little bit.
Okay, get it loaded up.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be slow from SK on the start here. They did move Taco all the way into Palace, as we were talking about yesterday. He's always the lonely one over there. But the other four are going to be grouped up here in back B halls.
I wonder what Azure plans to do if he jump spots and sees a terrorist flying out across top. It's quite close to connector.
Not being able to spot any of it just yet. But SK, still, I don't think they've made any noise at all that would have given away intel to the Renegades, so they're just staying dead quiet, and we're almost halfway through the round timer already. So it looks like after some delay in those B halls, not catching anything from the CT side, they're going to end up going back, grouping up now in the push over here towards the A ramp, and then just going for a straightforward execute. And Renegades, well, they've had no intel to suggest it would head towards either site, so they're just going to remain in their usual shape here as they have 3 players on that A site all ready to defend it. Another one which can quickly rotate in from the connector position since there's not going to be any mid pressure too. Usual smokes now being deployed here by SK, and out they go. JKS just casually getting headshots here. Started off with 2 on his own regard. He does get traded. Naf rolls in for an additional pickup. Taco, the only player keeping SK alive in this round right now, as he's picked up 2 kills on both Aza and JKS. Now they'll try to get back a little bit more control. There's still the presence back behind Firebox, I believe, from now that they have to deal with. And not just that either. There's another player winning a ticket, Nifty. He's very low though, so I doubt he's going to be too keen on peeking back out. And we do see from the other side, Nifty, and you're still able to swing in for those last 2 kills. And Renegades will very quickly secure the pistol when the action actually starts.
Nice run from JKS here. 2-click headshots. Can't find the 3rd kill, but it's more than enough. With an extra couple of teammates on the site, they hold that site no problem. SK didn't really do much except for check to see if someone wanted to push B. When they found out that no one wanted to push B, we're like, all right, let's group hit A with the connector smoke, maybe push for jungle control. But Renegades were so confident that it was going to be a late A hit. Didn't move anybody, and got some free frags. Cold checking on top mid. And we're looking at a wounded. Are we looking at a wounded SK? They did just lose to Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Maybe wounded or fired up.
Hungry for wins.
Yeah.
One might say. Well, they won't be starting it off with too many round wins anyway, as they will be down for the count after that pistol. But the aggressive buy is always interesting. Since they didn't get a plant, they are going to look for this immediate response. Let's see if they can win this out here. At the moment, though, again, the setup from the Renegades is actually a little bit more passive on the A side than it was in the last round, so this hit could find more success. JKS winning underneath of platform, however, will be the one to give out the intel, and must also be probably the sacrificial lamb upon the pusher. Nifty's going to do his best to support. Now he'll get 1, but it's 3 quick kills from SK besides that. Now was very low at 10 HP. Doesn't realize it yet, but he's going to have to deal with first swinging out from jungle. And now Ustillo left alone in a 1v4. He will read into this push from Cold, or at least look like he did. Cold pushes them anyway, successfully, and SK upset in the second round and only lose one player to boot.
That's kind of tough to understand what happened there. Everybody was ready at A, but SK got all their map control, were able to split both connector, window, A ramp, palace, and hit the site, just crush it off their smoke, even pushing through their own smokes at a certain point, being very unpredictable and crazy, and Renegades could not just hold on to their sides. I personally don't like standing triple when there is the potential for, like, if you don't have mid control, standing triple I feel like is a very precarious spot, because once you're spotted, it's completely spammable. It can also be shot from palace, a ramp, or connector, so even though you can see those three things, if you're open to all three, you're almost certainly going to die. And maybe that was irresponsible. That player could have been in CT. Playing for the retake probably would have gone a lot better than that for Renegades.
They will stack their players up in mid here now, just getting ready to explode onto the A site. You'll note that there's the respect there for Renegades, so they don't go for the usual aggressive rebuy into this round. They're just, they're just going to be taking it light with only USP purchases and a P250 on Azza there.
Connector control for Fur. So anyone going to peek out, do his crosshair? Let's see.
Oh. Guess that's one way to get a kill. Just baits Azza out into the open, so at least he'll kill him, but we'll see Cold Zera actually to be the one from window room to eliminate the guy that's hiding in jungle. Fur takes him a moment, but he does tap away to be able to eliminate Naf. Yustillo getting at least one kill, but now he's the lone soldier here up against the world and stuck at Firebox. Won't be alive for too much longer. SK close it out, and they now hold the lead 2-1.
Hugely beneficial for round for them where they won previously, because every single person they killed dropped a gun within their vicinity, so when the round was over, everyone was able to pick it up. That means they were able to manage rebuys really well. And to round 4, we're going to have an off pickup as a 1 adjustment, falling buying down to 0. And I think they're assuming that maybe Renegades decide to buy. I'm not exactly sure, but if they knew it was going to be a full eco, he probably would have held off for at least one more round. We control straight up as a window smoke falls.
Now they're going to swing back out here and see if they can do some damage themselves. Interestingly, it's Yustillo, the same player that got one of the only kills in the last round, too. JKS adds 1 to the counter this time, though, so at least they kill 2 players, but still, ultimately, SK do shut it down relatively effortlessly.
Cold Zera in the last few moments recovers the FAMAS as the mid crush works out. The play that pulled the trigger for Renegades was all those shots in the connector, everyone just flashing over, deciding to push everything, and we see that work really well versus mid control very often. But in that circumstance, clearly, which is not no armor or anything like that, it was a Hail Mary, no matter how you spin it. Naf is sitting in connector with a smoke. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it, but it looks like SK might actually do something quite quickly. Might have been waiting for the smoke to go down in the first place, or maybe they back off and just set up for a full-on take.
Probably going to go for the full take here. They still have everybody lined up for it. If this were a fake, they would probably not have everybody with them here, but we'll see. Smoke's getting ready to deploy into the site here too, so will we see the straightforward attempt on the first gun round? They're going to keep it simple against the Renegades. They'll move in. JKS will shut down the first player. Fallen responds in kind, and now as is sneaking around, he's going to be able to take out Cole, but not before he strikes and knocks out Yustillo, hiding a little bit further up there on Catwalk. So it's still left to an even bout of 3v3, and a little bit of a whiff spray coming out from Phelps there is going to let Nifty recover in time on his own op to take him back down. Now just 2 remain for that T side, both of which are going to fall back. Fallen.
Oh, it's planted front triple. Fallen's going to go for the connector play, the long con.
The bar play.
The bar play, yeah. I like that.
So he's going to wrap around here. See if he can cut these guys off when they try to go for the defuse. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on Fur to buy the time now. Oh no! How do you miss that?
He goes for the Draken instead.
Recovers it. Fur is here, so he's able to spam in and stop the defuse. And then Fallen shuts down the last player. SK still hold that control and manage the 2v3 very nicely.
It was good for they went for the long con, though, in a situation where they're down. Oh, man. What a whiff by Fallen. And then it hits the two crazy shots afterwards.
Good recovery. So that's going to break Renegades again. They'll be down onto an eco for this round. And the track record so far has not been great. And in fact, he's just going to give himself away to Cold right at the start. Hits his right shoulder and takes him out.
Ice in the vein, Zera. Too quick on it.
So Renegades actually trying to play a little bit more aggressively on this half by 2. They have the A ramp players pushing out, so Taco's probably going to find a fight in a second here. And he's only able to go 1 for 1. Actually, no, he doesn't get anything. I got confused with that Fallen kill. Fallen did kill one elsewhere on the map, but Taco just gets completely outwitted by both of those players. So he's going to be down on the ground, and that'll be an upgrade for the Renegades.
Ball makes his way over to B after most angles have been cleared. Phelps making sure no stragglers left underpass, and yep, after some frantic mouse flicking, seems like the B site is open for business.
Light goes down. Azza now with that AK, however, is able to pick up a kill, but coldzera catches JKS jumping out a window and tries to swing into an angle where he can hit that kill against Azza. He's making work happen with that AK in hand. Naf gets very close to catching Phelps. Naf gets very close to catching Phelps off guard, but it won't work out. Azza, however, moves in and now 1 kill away from the ace. Picks up this AK off of a lurked kill onto Taco. And now this Molly goes in the right place. He's going to dive in, but Fallen challenged the Molly anyway and was able to move in there and stop Azza from not only getting the ace, but also clutching out the round. So that keeps SK in control.
The most next level play he could have made there with the smoke and the Molly, if he had just believed that Fallen was in halls, which, you know, he wasn't necessarily in halls even though it was planted for him, was to just wait a couple extra seconds to see if Fallen pushed out because he wasn't going to sit behind the Molly when he saw it there. But a really good attempt. Great 4K, a lot of awesome trades in that retake, and just good damage done when they were basically saving on that round. So overall solid attempt. 5-1 though for SK. SK looking strong, bomb down, and even though they lost 4 players, coming with a round win and that win bonus.
So it's a pause for the Renegades right now since SK have gone all 5 rounds straight on this streak. Renegades, unfortunately, suffering from the same fate that Luminosity did back on Inferno at this point, where they won the pistol and have not been able to win another round since.
Molly into connector. Phelps goes top mid. And we haven't actually seen them get all the way underpass so far. coldzera seems to be the man in B apps. If you just aim where the top of this flap meets this corner, you don't have to move to throw the smoke for window.
Well, it doesn't seem like Phelps knows that, does he?
I don't know actually if he's going to, because some people will just running throw it, but
I don't think he's going to end up throwing it. At least he'll delay it a little bit here. No additional mid presence besides him, however. They've left it completely open, and Phelps is just going to be sitting back. I think he was expecting something aggressive, but yeah, both him and Fur kind of looking for that. So I think they were expecting Renegades to try to push this time. Renegades are big fans of that.
See that.
Yeah, or you.
He missed.
No, did he? Wow.
Oh, that's really sloppy.
Well, that doesn't hurt them too much. The position the Renegades play at, and wow, Fur thought he was dead for sure right there, but he spins around 180s a second time and takes down Naf. Nifty will have better luck from behind the position in the B site. He's going to strike the first kill here for the CT side, knocking out Phelps. The remaining 4 from SK are very much getting ready to pinch, but also Renegades have all 3 of their players here. Fallen, though, no hesitation at all, moves in. And Nifty missing a point-blank open shot. He wasn't even moving. Recovers nicely there and gets the quick scope onto Fallen. Tries to go for one more, but JKS will steal it. Taco burns out Nifty, and now in the 1v1, JKS will push out, taking down Fur on Cat and giving Renegades their second round.
I think Nifty had the landing accuracy recovery problem where he tried to jump up, and he goes for shots like this a lot of the time. I'm not sure if it's applicable when you jump up onto something, but I think it is. And yeah, but either way, nice recovery. Looking like coldzera in his prime. But that was really messy at mid, huh? The funny part was that bad connector smoke, or the primitive connector smoke, allowed Fur to see 2 people in connector. But that really favors the CTs if they use it properly. Instead, a top connector smoke and somebody clearing it out makes way more sense. But they did that weird. And then, on top of that, they actually also missed their window smoke because I think Phelps straight up forgot the lineup and didn't want to throw it.
Well, Fallen knows it, so he's going to take that position this time around here. And they'll be able to obviously capitalize on their early advantage from Nifty. They had the right read on it, just the wrong round, as they did look for that in the last round too. And this time we're going to be much better off at catching it. Naf also down low as he is already at 15 HP. So he's going to have to try and play off of that. Renegades just decide to split the 4 players 2-2 across the map. And he's still low. He's got to be careful with the timing on this peak. Fallen is at bench waiting for this, and it seems like as Fallen moves, Cold's just going to take up that position as well. So they're very much aware of the possibility of a cat flank window player trying to watch things, but that's going to leave Connector essentially open for the taking. Renegades know the possibility of how much pressure they can throw, and that nade's actually going to be very well positioned. Fur still, however, moves in to jungle there, gets the kill on Azza, taking him down. And now in the site, it's just JKS trying to defend it rampant. Cold's going to know that, but actually Cold goes out scouting that forward with the bomb in hand. Fur at least trades this now. JKS has got a little bit of a one-way to work with here in the smoke, but it's not perfect. So he'll spam into it, and Phelps, the other traces will be able to get him back. Nav peek it in, now the last man standing. Only 17 HP here. He's going to be able to move out. At least gets fallen, but he knows he's very much outwitted here, so he's going to have to fall back into the B site and save, and that will restore the advantage for SK. Just one round being picked up there by the Renegades, and then they'll be traded out.
Their passive setup is a little bit half-assed when it comes to mid because they didn't leave anyone in window, but they gave up control of it, and then they rotated into window, so they clearly aren't prepared to like give it up if they're going to play positions like that. When we see a good passive setup, we see one like they had on the pistol, where they had somebody at Ninja, someone under Balk, someone in CT. These players can let players walk in a window. You have one in CT watching the back of the window so no one can lurk in. And then you can forfeit connector control, let them into the site every once in a while. You don't want to do that every round. But the setup they had risked, 2 people dying. Fazza gets a kill, maybe they have a chance, but he's not supposed to die either on Cat. And instead, you're supposed to bait them into taking A and then make it a trap by having your rotates come out quickly. So Renegades learning lessons
as they play along here, and they're going to end up on a pretty light bot round again due to just being reset there after the one pickup. NAF will obviously have the M4 saved over from the last round, but that's pretty much going to be it. And default pistols or P250s besides that. They'll play very aggressive in mid this round, and like I've been mentioning for the past couple of rounds now, SK are going to be very well aware of this as they now just play passively on the approach to top mid here, so as to watch out for these types of moves from RNG. Phelps is going to be the first down here. They look for the window player. They do spot the lower player as well. Colt's going to have to adjust very quickly. He does so, but purely just gets overwhelmed, it seems.
Oh, they see the bomb.
So they're going to take that. They also pick up, obviously, quite a few rifles to play off. Now, all remaining members of Renegades do have rifles to play for. The 2 with AKs do not have armor, though. Now they'll flash out of this doorway. It's going to give Taco a little bit of room. They've got to spot Azur here. And yeah, I think they know he could be hiding behind that smoke. Mollies it. That's going to send Azur into a more open position. He'll also flash back, and Fur, who had navigated through the A site into window, takes down Nap. So it's just these last 2 hunting out here. Taco with a swift kill. Now just Azza alone, and he won't stand either. SK with a great recovery to a bit of a dodgy situation, and they still control the round.
Solid composure, even though they lost the bomb, top mid control. They're 3 mid players, and yeah, Taco plays this really well. Being super patient, waiting for some extra peeks, not going before the smoke is done. Throwing that Molotov very tactically to push Azza into an uncomfortable position, which he actually tried to lurk back into, but Taco still didn't fall for it and made sure to clear that angle even after all the dust had settled.
Just spamming in there. Taco, I want to check a little bit more, as Ustillo and Azur are both allowed to get away with kills. Ustillo thinks he's safe long before he actually is safe, though, and Azur suffered from a similar fate. Now just JKS left alive with a P250, and as he tries to fall back to CT, Fur will clip him off there, giving SK an 8th round, as we're kind of just propelling ourselves through this half pretty quickly now, it seems.
Yeah, it's going pretty quickly. Fur's going to hit this opening kill as they go for the fast connector split, and it ends up working out really well. Can appreciate the rise in pace. Good to match your confidence with just like a couple of fast rounds as well. Just let the other team know that they can't sit around. Smoke goes out window. 1 player at A ramp. 3 up in B halls. I wonder what their goal of the round is.
Right now, SK just playing for picks at the moment. Really going to be trying to force pressure anywhere. They do establish a little bit of presence now inside of the B apartments once the smoke starts to fade away. but they don't have the numbers yet to execute. They could start to look towards doing it in the next 5 to 10 seconds or so. And yeah, they are actually going to end up going in. Taco leads the charge. Nifty was able to take down Phelps. That kills their cat player. Yustillo doesn't realize that the Taco already went through the site. But Azza quickly gets in here as well from Cat and is able to trade, taking out Cold. Nifty in the market, dispatches of Taco. Oh, good hold overall from the Renegades. The actual site hold, unfortunately, doesn't prove too successful. But when SK try to sort of branch out and get some additional real estate to play off of in the post plant, that's when things fall apart for them. They could still clutch this, obviously, the 2v4 for SK, as they do have the site under their control, but Renegades have the numbers, semi-decent utility for the retake. They should win this, but we'll see. So now, Bitsys are going to use the last of their own utility, mauling off the doorway. Smoke still covering the window, so that's going to let Fall and creep up a little bit here as he looks for the quick kill. Gets it, sees another one coming out of window, tries to no-scope it, but he'll fail in that regard. And now for 24 HP also will really not be in shape to be surviving for that much longer. And they'll have someone with a kit jump on that bomb to make sure they can defuse it.
Yep, good patience in the afterplants from the Renegades. They gave SK a little bit of room, but with the 4v2, all they have to make sure is everyone's grouped, so when they do push in, they don't have to do it through a smoke, Molotov, or flash, and then trade out 1 for 1. They made that kind of ideal situation a reality and put another round on the board. It was kind of interesting to see SK. They threw all that mid presence. I think maybe they wanted to make Renegades feel like it was going to be another A split with that fast window smoke as opposed to top connector or top cat into window smoke. That way they don't only have to use one piece of utility. Little did they know that Renegades, I think, were just fine dealing with the fact that it was going to be a B hit after all. Probably putting SK in a position to wonder whether or not they got what they wanted out of their initial fake in the round.
Getting very quiet on the opener from SK here. They will start to move in for mid control now, but Renegades are ready to stop that. They got 2 in connector, 1 on cat. No window presence again. Very, very timidly do we see Renegades playing into window when they actually have done it. For the most part, though, they've been completely avoiding it. So we're going to see an example of in this round. And as a result of that, that is going to let SK walk right out. You'll notice that SK, upon peeking mid, aren't really even attempting to smoke window anymore. I think they realize that it's pretty much going to be open all the time. So they're willing to just not waste the smoke on it every round.
Yeah. And that's what you get when the other team is playing passively. So you get to hang on to your nades, which is why it's important for CTs to test them once in a while. And they have pushed up mid, but they did call out that this round they most likely won't need to waste anything extra.
And you'll see the smoke eventually does get tossed in there, but obviously that's the very late smoke.
Yeah. Renegades have already used 4 Molotovs, or 4 incendiaries. SK have all their nades.
And SK didn't really do much in order to force that out either. They pretty much just kind of walked up mid, smoked a window, and that's essentially it. Now they're going to go for a straightforward to execute, however. The thing is, because of the smoke that eventually did get tossed in the window, along with the connector smoke, Renegades, I think, assumed there's going to be like 2 or 3 players coming in splitting from Cat. That's not the case. It's a full-on hit-out ramp with 4 players pushing in. JKS is going to have to do some real work, too. His jungle now got re-smoked. Molly at the back trip stack. No one's going to be able to establish presence there. Nap gets 1 from CT, but JKS doesn't even get a single kill. Do they plant this in time, though? Yes, they just got it down. Had 2 seconds left over. Yustillo's going to make a push. They're watching for that. Nifty from Cat's able to get 1, but overstays his welcome there. Is caught by Fur up on top in his connector, and now just leaves Naf alone. 1v3. Trying to lurk back out through the window. And oh, moves in, has a free shot there. That's going to give Fur some time to recover, but apparently not enough time. He goes back in, and now he's actually got a chance to clutch this. He was just looking for a route out of the site. He's now going to try to flash over top, just go for this. He really doesn't have time to waste. Has to make a quick attempt at this, spamming through the box, looking for Taco's head through it if he can get it. Just pre-firing everywhere he can. Knows it's not happening, and the one spot he doesn't check is going to be behind that box. Taco takes him out in SK when yet another gun around.
He definitely had to go for it. I actually liked Renegade setup on this round a lot more. The double connector could have been better. They were kind of open in their lane to fight, and they decided to just hang on to A with their sight hold. Nifty missing a pretty important shot, and 2 people failing their duels is probably, you know, very standard reason why they lost. Yeah, SK go for the A split. Renegades have like a reasonable response but can't do it. And I was saying that they actually used, I think they actually used 3 Molotovs really early on, and SK came in with about 40 seconds left, full nade sets on every player, and definitely had a big advantage on that A hit. But JKS saved his Molotov on the A site, which was the important thing to do, and threw it at ramp at the exact opportune moment, or most opportune moment, I should say. If there was 1 more Molotov, however, SK would have had to run through a smoke, or run through a Molotov, take a bunch of damage, maybe would have just straight up saved, and not have any time to plant. Came down to the last moments, though, as I think Renegades were able to knock down the bomb planter. And SK now, though, are feeling fine. They survived it. They're through the thick of they're through the eye of the hurricane, the thick of the storm. They've got a save. Looking forward to double-digit half with a potential for 12 rounds even.
Yeah, we've already seen from Renegades here, not really any impact at all coming out of rounds like this. So we should expect Renegades to be able to crush this relatively easily. Regardless, though, just for the sake of safety, Renegades are still going to take this slowly, or excuse me, SK is still going to take this slowly, and it works out great for them, as you can see. Renegades attempt to pinch mid. Doesn't result in any kills at all. Ferg gets a nice little triple there. And now Naf is left alone. Trying to do the impossible. Hey, there was the dink. Like 5 attempts. Unfortunately, no kill, however, and Fur will move in, getting a nice 4K at the end of the day.
So once again, you see, because the fights are all taken by the pistols at mid, that this is actually what Renegades wanted. They wanted it to be a mid hit. They were correct about it. They tried to crush it from a bunch of choke points. They just didn't connect with bullets, and the better guns ended up winning. Still could have been a precarious round. Either way, they couldn't even get any damage out of it because Fur did such a good job bailing them out with that 4K. Setting up for what looks like a full-on A hit. Fallen had the bomb, showed it at A ramp, but I don't know if anyone saw. Flashes go over, one person palace, and one man running back to mid. Ooh, a false exec.
So they'll go out and...
Joke's on them. No utility. They have no utility to use in response.
Not only that, too, but they've also fallen back, and we can see Yustil already has his top mid presence established, so he's going to be able to move in and figure out just what exactly is going on.
This is SK's weakness. It's a very fine window in every round when they do something like this, that there's an opportunity to re-aggress. Oh, Phelps. Oh, get blasted.
JKS even getting the cheeky trade-off there in the middle, walks right up, takes the AK, and then kills Phelps with it. So a nice double kill there. Now we're going to see the real execute out onto A after obviously that bit of a delay. Nifty lines up an easy shot to start things off, taking down Cold. With the flash over top, Fallen will have to sit back for a couple of moments. He's waiting for the repeat from Nifty. Nifty has no reason to do so, however. Taco out, kills JKS on steps. There'll be a second player potentially there in a few moments here. Currently, he's just holding inside of Connector, though. Fallen continuing to lurk out, now getting over towards Tetris, reaffirms the Opera still there, hiding behind Trip Stack. He's still looking to walk right in. He gets the high-up flashbang to support that push, just in case Fallen was watching his back. And Azar will close out on the Taco there, hiding up a top platform, giving the round over to Renegades. Very well done by them.
Yeah, so it's weird that, so SK were hoping that, first of all, they're going to bait out utility at A so that they could go up A ramp without having to go through a Molotov. They kind of did that in the sense because Renegades just didn't have any utility to throw. But you know, they didn't know that, but they went through the appropriate motions. And then after it was Yustillo to make a nice heads-up play by pushing to top mid with his UMP to get info. Ooh, Fallen also getting crushed on a cat. Absolutely no chance there. But yeah, that small timing window where SK do something just to bait a response and you push for the appropriate map control. That's one of the only holes that you can get out of SK's strong defaults.
Coldzera wasting almost 2/3 of his HP running through the Molotov here at ramp. Taco is also going to be afflicted by one too. So Cold sees the shadow peek, but in that peek, JKS was able to see Coldzera. Then due to the earlier Molotov damage, he's going to have an easy time finishing him off. Interestingly enough, JKS was also the one that also threw down that Molotov. Now Phelps looks for a response by Connector, but the nade pressure's too much for him right now. He's forced back. Yustillo in the meanwhile, though, got the kill on the Fur. I think that happened to Cat. So now we will see these last few players trying to scramble together some kind of a hit, but it's 2v5. They don't really have a lot of room to initiate here. Yeah, he still is going to walk out, completes the lurk, and Taco just ends up giving himself away. Another round for the Renegades as they do bring it back a little bit. Ultimately, though, it's still a very strong half for SK. We'll have to see if they can keep that together when they switch sides. And the second half begins right after this.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the ESL Pro League. We're into our second match of the evening. SK taking on the Renegades and currently holding an advantage over them here on Mirage with a 10-5 lead. Renegades, however, recovered nicely towards the end of that first half, winning 3 out of the last 4 gun rounds in the match there, and ended up bringing it back. What was otherwise going to be like something like a 12-3 half for SK if they didn't turn that around.
That's true. And that's another reason maybe why they're like Matt Damon on Mars. Because they're showing signs of life.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
I like the lead in there. That was pretty. All right, well, it looks like we're going live with the second half, folks, so we can dive in game here and get a look at things now that the teams will change sides. We will now be seeing Renegades on the T side and SK on the CT side. Let's jump into it. Yeah, it's still very heavily in the favor of SK at this point, but I don't know. I think there's a chance for Renegades here. We'll have to see how well their T side is formed up.
We all deserve a chance. Even though Renegades aren't from the region, so do they. But I guess neither of them are.
Yeah, no one really is. Nifty is.
That's true.
And now, too, actually.
It's double true. Molly out of a triple. They know he likes to be there. And Phelps, ooh, he's doing the reverse JKS into sandwich.
Yeah, nobody checks that upper position for some
Where
reason.
did he get shot from?
Yeah. Is that a team? That was probably a teammate, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
There's no one else on the site, so that was the only explanation. JKS, in the meanwhile, is going to walk right in, and that will give Renegades B site control. SK getting tricked a little bit there. And now we see them having full site control. They don't have their third player rotated back in yet. Nifty was going to try to flank, but Fur caught that on his way out of the A site. Taco gets another kill too. Naf looking to hold, but we know what Naf can do with a pistol in his hand. Still takes down Fallen. Now with the 1v2 that he goes to bench, which is going to be a little bit more predictable. Decides to not hang out there. You should be able to hear these players going out, but quickly moves in, gets a headshot, now knows where the last one is. He still has about half a clip remaining there too, trying to spam into it, and it takes a while, but he gets the kill on Fur, and clutches 1v3 for the Renegades to give them the pistol.
Damn, he got a second chance at that 1v3 and capitalized. Well done. Great movement around the pillar, not peeking too much, and it got a little messy in the last few moments, but someone had to win, and that man was going to be Naf.
So
they hit him with that, the bamboozle to B. It was a good hold from Phelps, and I think that was actually made it a 5v3. I like that they mollied triple, because the triple's a good spot on pistol rounds where spamming is not actually that effective, and it's also a great angle for like being versatile in where you can peek connector, peek palace, and a ramp.
Cold is going to be looking for some deagle shots early on there as he plays to the cat position. All attention will be on him, however, as he did challenge the initial push from the Renegades. They will move forward in order to take control here, and Nifty, oh, nicely done. Just slowly backs up until he can spot the head of Cold Zeret, pops it off real quick. Fur, completely blinded, but so is Nifty. As the flash just ends up landing in a bit of an unfortunate position there, so he's not going to be able to immediately push in and challenge it. It's even worse that Nifty does get tagged by this deagle, so it's a free shot that goes off from further. No additional damage traded onto him. Now Taco's even going to move into mid, but now pushes over towards chair there. Pretty much perfect timing in order to catch Taco off guard as he was still setting up. So a nice easy pick up there. The rest of the team now moving in over here to take some cat control. Fallen will try to defend against this. You can see him looking away for the flashbang, but that's not going to prove necessary. Does it again, and this time it's going to allow Naf to walk forward and kill him pretty easily. Now just 2 CTs remaining. A systematic clear out for the Renegades on the B side. We'll find that nothing is here. And the last 2 from SK, I don't even think they're going to really attempt much here since they still have the 3rd round to get through, so probably going to end up backing out or just staying in this site to save those weapons.
It really scares me to see teams going for mid control all the time on these anti-ecos. Fortunately for Renegades, they only lose a single man. And there was a couple of opportunities there, but some good flashes to push people off of getting aggressive, and a solid round overall. Everybody backing off, including the terrorists through the choke point from whence they came. There will be no ninjas today. SK will have to, or will try to, stop the bleeding, I think, next round. Not this next round, next round. The round after next.
And yeah, SK, they will save those pistols, but won't end up with much else besides that. So this should be the walkover round for SK. We'll invest accordingly. 3 rifles as they are getting ready for the gun round, but still keeping 2 ups there in order to farm a couple kills should they line up for that. Pretty quick setup here for an A push too. Nifty's got to be a little bit careful though. He's solo here right now. Flash goes out, realizes what's happening, dives into that little cubby to give him a bit of real estate. Did you realize this guy got to the left side there? Wow, man, he's checking everything. Still ends up getting dinked, however, despite his tenacity to check every single angle, and he'll get overwhelmed. Sako takes him down. He doesn't get a single kill. Yustillo has better luck pushing into the A-bomb site here. But it's currently advantage to SK 4v3. Not for long, however. Okay, maybe for long. Fur is going to be able to line up that deagle shot. Just a pixel angle it should have been against Yustillo from those positions. So takes him down and now leaves only these 2 Ts to defend the bomb plant. And also with an AK and an ump. And then the control of SK. No armor sitting behind it currently, but they're going to move in. They take down JKS. JKS with good spam, trades out the kill, but he has no safe way to get past that smoke right now. They spam into it. He moves out. We'll get one more kill before going down to Cold, and with Fallen holding it the whole time, he's going to defuse it, and SK somehow win that round.
Man, all Nifty wants to do is get to top mid boxes. Funnily enough, you know, it was everybody to come out A just as they anticipated. I mean, it wasn't really a stack that caught them off guard. Literally, SK were able to retake that off of picking up Nifty, a few extra nades. I think recycling maybe an armor from last round. Yeah, one person with armor from last round, and yeah, obviously the ice cold deagle of Fur. That was a pretty nuts shot from Cat into a player trying to sneak in a CT.
We'll also put Renegades into a bit of a forced strategy here and a forced buy, as they do go down with just CZs, P250s, and somewhat amounts of utility here. Usual smokes to try and set up for a B hit, but SK have 2 players playing right outside of apartments right now. So I think they're expecting this. They also have presence established in mid. Taco already able to grab one. They line up multiple more as Cold Zero gets the double kill. They're both trying to hide in that same spot though, so it gets a little bit awkward. A little too close for comfort, but Cold makes it smooth as he moves back in there with a quick switch over to the USP and an instant headshot onto Nifty to close out the round.
Yeah, well done. And again, we were asking the question of is this a wounded SK or a fired up SK? And we could see Cold Zero from 34 ADR to 4K eco.
Nicely found. But after that one buy from Renegades here, they do end up going into a full buy now. So we'll have our first gun round. But it's with SK and an advantage, and they're immediately going to find a kill. Fallen, pushing deep inside. Fur goes up at top mid, deletes Naf and Yustillo. I mean, this looks like an eco from the Renegades. It's not a full gun round, but they're just dropping off the map like flies right now. Nifty finally responding, but Cold also gets back in check there at top steps, takes out JKS, and Nifty's stuck. He hasn't even gotten mid control yet. He's still sitting way back over here around the wrap to where you go into back B halls.
Damn, they got destroyed. Straight body bags from SKs. They just do mid control very simplistically, sending Fur to top mid to take a fight. He ends up killing 2, doesn't even have to have them blind. And Fallen obviously goes underpass with an op, which is so crazy, but it's like such a Fallen thing to do. And you think from the top of the stairs, you're obviously, see the advantage of being in a place where an op would never go is that people are going to give you a lot of chances to peek freely. They're going to shoulder peek you. They're going to sit there and hold angles on you because they expect to fight a rifle. And, you know, Fallen will just be there with an op in a very dangerous spot, but he's very confident too. That puts Renegades in a tough position. Looks like a 5 smoke execute on A. Envisioning wall smokes, but yeah.
Yep. Nav is going to go back to mid, however, so I'm not sure what he's looking to do with this. Regardless of the smokes, though, SK still melt down 2 players before they even entry on the site. They still don't have any site presence at all. They're only just now pushing Nifty up the plant, but he gets melted by Cold. And, okay, Naf gets the Cat, but what's he going to do now?
Yeah, a little bit of hole of the strategy. I don't think they smoke stairs, which I believe that... I want to say that Phelps was near stairs, maybe, taking free shots on them. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. They did have 5 smokes at 4A ramp, so they clearly didn't miss anything. But yeah, that leaves that avenue open quite a bit. I think even if you're gonna, oh, sorry, they smoked top connector. Okay, so I guess they're planning to push. I think they realize like if they want a chance to win on the eco, they've got to not only get the bomb down, they've got to push, get control of something, take a gun, be in a really weird spot that's hard to clear like window. for here getting an opening frag once again. Fallen getting the other one once again.
But whoa, has to jive away real quickly back down underneath here because he's going to get pushed for 3 players coming out. Phelps, he's blind, but it doesn't matter. Gets the double kill, and that will buy the room for Fallen to peek out now from underneath the plat, destroying Azure. Another attempt at a gun round push from Renegades, and once again, just like the last gun round, just gets absolutely deleted.
Damn, they just make it look so easy.
And now we're on map point.
Yeah, map point. Potentially the last round of the game. Not a lot to work with. Scout for Galeno. Oh boy.
You don't see that every day.
I've never seen that, I don't think.
So let's see what Renegades can put together here. They do have a decent amount of smokes, at least, in order to try and line up some sort of a hit here. The flash underneath there, but Fallen will be able to dive away, and they don't have the mid presence to try and isolate him in here, so he's actually not even going to fall all the way back. He just goes to the side cubby, and will smoke it off.
Fallen's like, who would do it twice? The good thing for mid control for CTs is that they have they know that there can't be a split, first of all, even though mid control is definitely like more T favored. They know they can't get split on, and they have fast rotates. Your player on cat can like literally jump into connector. They have 2 in connector right here, so you can stay very mobile. Phelps also taking control of the A ramp.
Is that him that made noise there, or someone else? I think it might have been from a different perspective.
That sounded like a cup in real life.
Yeah.
I don't.
I got really confused by that for a second. Has it changed perspectives too? I don't think it was him though. So they're gonna walk in. He gets 1 kill. Phelps fighting on 2. Fur's in here as well. So yep, there goes the bomb. 2 remaining. Fur's gonna jump right back out. And interestingly enough, JKS wasn't even looking at that originally. So pays no mind to it. And now it leaves Azure alive in a 1v2 situation. He should be aware, however, that his opponents are aware that the bomb is down. So it's not like he's gonna be able to really trick them or anything like that. Just attempt to go for the straightforward play. Walks into window, but he's out of position when he initially takes it. So Taco closes out easily on that final 1v1. And as such, we will see SK Gaming take quick control of map number 1. They take Mirage and start off the night 1-0 for themselves.
Cool to see them do their use that a little bit differently. We didn't actually see Phelps trying to get into window every single round like I kind of half expected them to do, like we saw yesterday. So they changed it up, and everybody was on point.
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely. And I believe we have our analyst desk standing by, so we're going to bring them into the conversation once again to break down the map.
Once again, here we are, examining SK Gaming. Putting in work there, looking at their CT side, though, looking like Renegades couldn't get anything started.
No, not at all. SK was just destroying them in the middle. I think for the majority of the first part of the half, they just took control of middle, made it, as you say, conditioned them to actually play scared middle, and SK just ran away. Just play them like fiddle.
I like game plans like that where you're not focused only on what happens within a single round, right? Like if you play and play and play and play like the first 8 rounds, you should take into account how that could affect the psychology of the other team. And then you should base further rounds off of that. Psyops.
So that way you could potentially open doors in other directions. And it makes perfect sense if you think about it. Let's look at our first replay, though, as we begin to recap this one. We've got a SKA exec here.
Okay, so notice there's 25 seconds left on the clock and there's 10 people alive still. Just gonna let that sink in for a second. So this goes back to the fact that SK has basically been banging mid for the first 11 rounds of the half, and here's round number 12. And then exec on A against a pro team with 22 seconds left as they crest the top of the A ramp, and they win the round. They win the round because they can deduce that almost all of the CTs are going to be near that connector jungle stairs area, and that they're going to get caught in the blender, and they basically just aggress that whole area and swing right wide with 3 to 4 AKs, and they get the bomb down with 2 seconds left. Right, like that round is on a razor's edge. If one thing goes wrong, they lose the round. But since they know exactly how Renegades has been playing in response to what they've been killing them with, right? They've been killing them with that mid control, with that ladder and with the window, with underpass, right? So Renegades is like, oh, we gotta hold this connector, hold jungle, don't let them have it, right? So that means that it's less likely somebody's gonna be under balk, less likely somebody's gonna be default triple ninja, right? They can almost guarantee nobody's gonna be there. And sure enough, it works.
Basically isolate off the entire site in a nutshell. But let's look now at our next replay, because, I mean, the storyline we talked about it before the game was Phelps and his approach lately. Let's run into this one now.
Okay, so this round is, okay, so this is round number 14, and this is 2 rounds after Renegades take a pause, which is after that last one we just went over, and now they're pushing, right? They're like, oh, we need to make something happen. We don't want to let them exec with 30 seconds left after having taken no damage. So Steelo's here, and JKS is already underpass. Snake in the grass, JKS takes out 2, and a little storyline here is Phelps not getting the trade on Fur. Look at this. Come on, Phelps. Honestly,
I mean,
like, you're so much, like, he's so much better than that, right?
He had the window after he threw the UMP.
Exactly.
There was a chance there for something to happen.
Right, when you pick up a gun, right? There's some period of time when you're not. It's not like pick up gun, fire immediately. It doesn't work like that.
It's like the same concept of hearing someone pull their grenade pin almost. It's caught with your pants down would be the expression I think that most adequately.
Yeah, and I don't think Phelps necessarily had a bad game. It's just that round is kind of like emblematic of the current like state he might be in, that we are inferring that he is in. We don't really know, but it just seems like he's not his full self.
Well, taking a look at our last replay, round 18, SK get a little, they get a little fiscally responsible here.
As you see right here, so they're, they only have some pistols, and Nifty here is kind of caught alone. He spots at least 2 people, and instead of kind of falling back away and reposition himself, he kind of spins in a 360 to kind of check his back and see if he could maybe try to get a kill or 2. Unfortunately, that backfires on him, and now it puts Renegades in a weird spot where it's a 4-on-2 in favor of SK, and it's just great teamwork by SK by having to push. It's a random. Maybe we win, maybe we're not, and it works completely in their favor as Renegades are kind of a little sloppy on that A-tag.
So something that we haven't really discussed up to this point in the post-match of this game. Fur really coming out and putting down just a devastating blow to Renegades that we know Fur is capable to deliver on just about any map you put him in.
Fur is an aim monster. You see, if you ever watch him deathmatch or play, his aim is so awesome. It's so awesome. And this game, I think, highlighted a lot of his shots. It felt like his aim was on. It felt like it was almost like he was deathmatching.
There was this one round I was going to highlight it on a replay, but we don't want to do every round, there was a round where they did a cat split, so that SK faked B early, so it was going to seem like it was a fake, right? And then 2 guys run up cat, and the round almost got won by SK, but Nifty had some heroics from Van. I think he was like flicking people from under Van, but Fur was one of the guys running up catwalk, connecting to your statement about him being on point this game, and he just 1 bullets 2 guys in connector with guns that have a 1-way smoke advantage on him, and I'm just like I wish I could be on this guy's team.
Well, from 10-5 to 16-7, and now on to Cobble. SK are going to look to make this a 2-0, but before we do that, we're going to go to a quick break. So when we come back, we're jumping into Cobble between SK and the Renegades, so be here.